Welcome back. We have two updated stories today. The timestamps are in the description box. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started. Story 1. Opie writes, "We've been married for 5 years. We have a 4-year-old together. She has 2 other kids from a previous marriage. They are pre-teens. About 2 months ago, we went to the mechanic shop to get her car serviced. And the guy there, she kept talking to him and looking at him. I ended up talking to him too because I had a Raiders jersey on and he said he was a big fan of the Raiders. Anyway, I work 10-hour days that she absolutely hates, but she is a stay-at-home wife. I pay all the bills, so I have to be away. She was seeing this guy we met at the car shop every day I was at work behind my back. 3 weeks ago, I came home. She wrote me a text saying she was gone, and she's in love with this guy and she believes this is her soulmate. This guy, I did my research, has no place to stay, so they all have been living in the car I pay for in different parks. The sad part, she left our 4-year-old behind and took the other 2 kids that are not mine. She has blocked me on everything. Family members have sent me posts of her saying how much she is happy now and in love with her, quote, sexy man, unquote. It hurts to the core. I can't eat, sleep, or function at work. Worst, my daughter cries every night. Thank goodness my sisters and mom have stepped up to take care of her while I work, and they watch her full time on the weekend. It's like I'm numb and don't know what I did so wrong. I took care of her, loved her when she was sick, loved her children. The worst thing she said I did was work too much, and that I didn't have time for her. Well, sorry, I'm the only one paying bills. It sucks so bad. The other worst part is last night she had the cops beating on my door. When I opened up, it was her and the cops. They were escorting her to get her things. I'm so glad our daughter was sleeping. She gathered up some more clothes and said, "Toss the rest, I'll never be back." I looked outside and the guy she's with is sitting in the passenger seat. I am beyond livid. Oh yeah, and she texted me this morning saying, do I have gas money for her? And will I pay the car note? And maybe she will talk to me face to face. But this is the only way. I didn't respond. I am numb. Yes, I worked a lot. I'm sorry I didn't have time to take you to the movies or a special dinner, but we have never been hungry one day, have a beautiful house, and I always give you anything you ask for. Why not communicate? So I could have worked on being a better husband and father. My wife is so beautiful, I thought I was lucky, but now see the real her. Edit. She did not ask once about our daughter last night, didn't check in on her. She hasn't seen her in 3 weeks. This is a doting mother that always called our daughter, quote, my sweetie, my baby, my Nina, unquote, always kissing her and hugging her. She was such a good mother, and the crap was all an act. How? She is ice cold. It's like a switch went off and she's at 0 cares. How can I ever tell my daughter about this chapter in our lives? It is blowing my mind. Thanks all for listening. I have no one to vent to at the moment. Feels really good. That was a month ago, and we do have more updates coming from Opie. But Opie, I've got to say, this is very, very strange that your wife would leave you to go and live in a car with a man she hardly knows. There's something very seriously amiss here, apart from the obvious infidelity and leaving her daughter behind and all of that. I feel your wife is going through some kind of a mental health crisis over here. This is just not normal. To take your children and go and live in a car. Let's get OP's update 7 days after the original post. Update. Well, she's back begging to come home. She says she's sorry and she's broken up with the guy. She called me to pick our son up. He told me he's tired of sleeping in the car. He tried to run away. I told him he can come home and he's here now. She let him come. My daughter says she wants to stay with mom. Shortly after, I got a text saying she's sorry and that it was a bad decision, how she's been alone this past week. She's talking about suicide, saying she's done with life. I told her she can't come here. I'm sorry that the guy's treating her badly today. I thought they were doing good, and she said I really don't know her. She was having a nervous breakdown and mental issues. She didn't know what to do but run. I didn't respond, but my son is here, guys. I'm so happy. Well, that was 3 weeks ago, and now we have this update from Opie. If you don't know my story, please check it out before I update you all. Just a brief story time. My wife left me and our 4-year-old daughter for a mechanic that we befriended at the mechanic shop. Literally has been homeless with this man as I put my life back together. Please go through the original thread for all the updates. There is a lot. I thought I'd make a new post. Last weekend, one of the twins got sick and I had to rush her to ER. They told me she had appendicitis and has to get her appendix removed. I called her mom, who took about 40 minutes to arrive. She comes in with her boyfriend. Immediately I got pissed off and told him to leave because I had my 4-year-old and the other twin with me. I don't need this guy around. So he's acting calm, telling me we need to go somewhere and just talk man to man. I told him no, I have nothing to say to him. The entire time my soon-to-be ex-wife is telling me to stop. She doesn't even rush to the back to check on our daughter. She just stands there and tries to console him as I'm telling him to pee off. I could tell my kids were getting upset, so I went to another part of the hospital and left them standing there holding on to each other. The doctors tell me my daughter's surgery will be an emergency that morning, and her mom is hearing this. Well, guess what she asks? Just how long will it be because her new stud has to go to work and she's his ride? I told her to just leave. Just go take him to work. At this point, I'd been there for a little over 2 hours myself, and that whole night at home, my daughter, who is 13, cried in stomach pain. So my wife says, okay, quote, yeah, I'll be back before she goes back into surgery. I'll just drop him off at work, unquote. Well, that was last week, and we haven't seen her since. She never came back to the hospital. She did call yesterday to ask how did it go and if she can come get some food. I told her if she shows up, I'm calling the cops. I've also asked her to surrender the vehicle she's in that I pay for and is in my name, or I'll get the cops involved. I'm beyond over her, so disgusted with her. When I made that original post, yeah, I had a little hope she would come back to me. Now I have nothing at all for her. She even told me on the phone I sound more and more harsh with her. I'm trying to get full custody of these kids. Yeah, they're my stepkids, but I will not, under any circumstances, let them go back with her. She will have to call the police on me first. I can tell the kids are conflicted. They love her, of course, and they want the old her back, but she's gone. They are hurting waiting for her to show up, but she's gone. Gone in love, gone in drugs, gone in la la land. It's the truth. I've accepted the situation for what it is. I have a divorce lawyer. She told she will never sign the papers. She doesn't want a divorce. She wants me to understand that she is just going through a life crisis and to accept it. I don't care. She can do what she wants, but she can't drag us in the middle of it anymore. The locks were changed on Monday. She has no place here, no home to come to. The car will be out of her possession soon, as well as when I pay off her phone bill. I finally realized and came to grips with the reasons she was able to continue to hurt us was because I was still waiting and wishing for that old person that I fell in love with to show up. But the old person didn't just leave. This is who she was all along, and by enabling her, allowing her access to me and our kids freely was damaging everyone. She has to be cut off completely. Which is scary because she can take her kids anytime because legally I never adopted. I am ready to fight the good fight when it comes down to it. Guys, I am free. I cried one last time and smiled right after. I feel really good. Even as she continues to hurt us and rain on our parade, we will continue to be a family, just the 4 of us. These kids are amazing and they deserve the best the world has to offer. I don't respect her as a woman or as a mother. Pray for us as we go through this uphill battle of getting her out of our lives for good. We've got some comments coming up with replies from OP soon. And well, OP, I really do think your wife is having a mental breakdown of some kind. Now, I'm not saying you should take her back, but you might want to reconsider permanently turning your back on her for the sake of your children. Because when all is said and done, she will always be their mother. So if she ever needs help, if she ever comes to you asking for help, you might want to consider finding a way to get her help without getting entangled emotionally again and so forth. You did say that you work very long hours, which is understandable. It's a one-income home. I get it. But you might want to consider that you missed out on signs because of that, because you were so busy working for your family that you didn't realize that something was going on with your wife. Let's get some comments with replies from Opie. What is her problem? If my kid were going into emergency surgery, absolutely nothing would keep me from her. Opie replies, that's my thoughts. That's what I thought her mindset would be. Well, how wrong was I? I felt really bad when she woke up and asked for a mom. And someone else says, sounds like she's getting worse. I didn't think she would, but this is a movie. I was really thinking about you. And Opie replies, I think because of me. I was too nice and too hopeful. I love her, but I've made a conscious choice to put me and the kids first always. She played games with me for so long because I let her. I'm taking accountability for letting this go on as long as it did. I was thinking, well, maybe she'll wake up and come back to me. It's all my fault. If I just show her how much I still love her, she'll come back. And someone else says, this is beyond effing crazy. Best of luck for the future, mate. Opie replies, I don't understand her. I want a divorce. She says no. But you're in a whole relationship. She says I'm going through a mental crisis and just wait for me to come out of it. Well, Opie, good luck as you move on with your life and build a new life for yourself and your children. However, the fact of the matter is she's always going to be popping in and out of your life because of the children. I honestly hope that your soon-to-be ex-wife gets help and that the two of you will be able to co-parent successfully in the future. Well, let's move on to story number 2. Opie writes, we, 28 male and 23 female, dated for a year or so and we were never intimate. She was a virgin and told me she considered sex as something sacred and will only put out if she's married and deeply, and I mean deeply, in love with the other person. She was next to certain about this, and that was that about this aspect of her personality. I'm not, but I was ready for this commitment, respected her decision and stuck to it. Months later, she basically just woke up one day and dumped me with voice notes, giving me no logical reason or excuse. I peacefully let her go. You can't force someone to be with you if they don't want to. 5 months after, she pops back into my life with a, quote, hey big head, unquote, text. I was still in love with this woman, so I fell back in, on the condition we both come clean about what happened, what we had been doing after our, quote, breakup, unquote, to currently, and why she just left me in the rain like that. She said she was going through some personal crap, freaked out at the level of commitment she was getting into, couldn't tell me, and basically just did what she thought would push me away. None of it made sense to me. I never rushed her into anything. Quote, but F it, unquote, I said to myself and told her we could do this again. She ended up dating 2 people in the 5 or so months we were apart. None of them were as serious, and as far as she told me, she wasn't in love with either one of them. I dated one person and it lasted a month before I broke it off. No connection. We started dating again in December 2021. While talking one day, couple of months in, say May 2022, she randomly lets it slip that she's been intimate with one of the guys she was with. This hit me hard. She said she just ended up wanting to do it and she just did it. And she chose whoever it was because she wasn't in love with them. And they did it within a month or so of starting to date. Wholly contradicting anything I wrote about her personality in my first paragraph on this post. Her whole reasoning for intimacy in my eyes seemed flawed. I was hurt, but hey, I also had my share of it, so I wasn't going to give her crap for it when I've been active since my teens. I let it go and asked if there was anything else she wanted to tell me. No was her answer. Introduced her to my family, she introduced me to hers. We're getting serious and got engaged June 2022. She bombshelled me last week Thursday that she got pregnant around November 2021, a month before she sent the, quote, hey big head, unquote, text. I just got gutted. She aborted it, never told the guy. Her body, her choice, her right. But I sincerely do not know who this woman is anymore. Her communication, or lack thereof, about crap is driving me insane. I don't know if I'm done or just done. My mind is racing hypotheticals, and I just can't take the hurt anymore. F this, I'm done. Update, and it's likely my last. Read through all the comments, and they all say what I've been telling myself for months now, but I've been gaslit to believe I was just overthinking crap. Yes, I am financially stable, and she knows, of course. I work as a part-time lawyer at a friend's firm, which gives me flexibility to work my second passion as an airline pilot. So I'm traveling most of the time and occasionally will be home for a while. I called her. She didn't sound like she was home. Asked where she was. She didn't want to answer. I led with just breaking it off. She basically was indifferent to it all. Basically told me, quote, I don't care, it's your decision. It doesn't bother me if you can't take the facts like a man or not. It's your problem and that's life for you. Unquote. I wasn't looking for a fight. I just wanted to end it, so I wished for her that she found the happiness she's looking for and dipped. 30 minutes later, she posts a video sitting in an apartment living room watching soccer on TV. She doesn't own a TV or PlayStation 4 controller at her place. So I guess that was the not-so-subtle messaging as to where she was this whole weekend after she told me about the pregnancy from last year. And I told her I needed a day or two to think this out. Deleted her from my socials, and that's that. I don't think I have any more to add. I'm just going to find my peace concentrating on myself now. Well, that's the last from OP regarding this relationship. And OP, I think good for you. I'm glad you're out of it. I think you were played, used. You deserve better than that. And I'm very glad that you're focusing on yourself. That's a very healthy approach. Well, that's it for this edition. We've come to the end of another video. Thank you so much for joining me, for allowing me to keep you company. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Consider subscribing. Please leave a comment. And I'll see you again soon.